Do 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 do. Let's make sure that I have everything set. I am live. I am live, and here we are. I just got a notification that I'm live. Live, live, live. Good evening, Interpeas, and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a pleasant weekend. Cement shoes. Good evening. I'm looking forward to this one. Well, good. Glad you. I think that you're one of the people that suggested the Crossbow Cannible cement shoes. Juicy Jules, hiya to you as well. Welcome tonight, Juicy Jules. I hope you had a great weekend. Oh, Gianna Marie studied. All right, there's going to be a loud noise here. Cover your ears in case you hear this. It's going to be loud. In 3, 2, 1. Sorry. I just realized I had the volume cranked down. I turned down the master volume after every time I turn it off. I'm done with the live stream. This guy is off the chain. He's definitely one of those out there. Bizarre as hell. Kitty Coo, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia, Kitty Coo. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope your kids had fun at their crossbow or whatever archery thing event that they had. Ernie's disappointed mother. Good evening, Ernie's disappointed mother. Welcome to trivia night. Tonight, all the questions on the trivia are on the Crossbow Cannible. Crossbow Cannible. Little Linda. Good evening, little Linda. Give it another minute here, and then we'll get this going. Yes, archery. Well, there we go. I remembered it. See, I do have a memory. It works sometimes. Some days I forget who the hell I am. What is my name? I don't know. How can we have? That's weird. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the thing there, and it said that there was 2 people. Then it went to 4 people. Then it went to 6 people are here. But obviously, there's more than that. I want to nominate another candidate for trivia, Dr. Anthony Garcia. Dr. Anthony Garcia, who committed 4 revenge killings. Anthony Garcia, Dr. Anthony Garcia. 1924. All right, I wrote it down. Cement shoes. I will definitely look into making it a possibility or doing one of the trivia nights on Dr. Anthony Garcia. Is currently on death row in Nebraska. Ooh. So it'd have to be sooner than later. Otherwise, we'll be doing the past tense on him, right? All right, let's get the trivia started here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 308 night of trivia. 308. Stephen Griffith, the Crossbow Cannibal killer. He was not only a cannibal, a serial killer, he was a stalker, a necrophilia, and a hostage taker. This is the man that we are doing the trivia on tonight, Stephen Griffith. That is him giving the "your number one" gesture to the camera on the right-hand side. The enlarged picture is him also caught on CCTV camera after he committed one of his acts. All right. Content covered on this topic is not intended for anyone under the age of 16. YouTube and the main site of this content is streamed on has blocked all accounts of those who are under the age of 16, setting restrictions at 16 plus. If anyone is watching this content is under that age, it is on their end. They are cheating the system. I am not responsible for them viewing this content. The views and opinions expressed by myself and others do not express the views of advertisers who may place ads on this content after it is aired. And here we go. Question number 1 on the Crossbow Cannibal. First question of 20. After his arrest, Stephen Griffiths was helped to a point. When asked how many women have you killed, his response was which? I killed loads. I killed a buttload. C, I killed more than you will find. Or D, I killed more than I should have. After his arrest, Stephen Griffith was helped to a point. When asked how many women have you killed, his response was which? And I will get myself in my little window in just a second here. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Get myself my little window. Hello. It's Will in his little window down in the lower right-hand corner. Smith Juice going with 144,000. Little Linda, Lemon Pie. Good evening, Lemon Pie. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Lemon Pie is going with D. Gianna Marie A. Kitty Q C. Inner P's. Sierra. Must be Spanish. West Sarah. Juicy Jules is going with C. Cute Will. How many did he say? What was his response to how many women did he kill? And when the police asked him, question number 1. All righty, ladies and gentlemen. Question number 1. The correct answer is A as in apple. When they asked him, how many women have you killed? He said, I killed loads. When they asked him to expand upon that, he said, I killed loads. He just repeated the same thing and refused to answer any actual answer to how many. Was it 1? Was it 20? Was it 5? We know he killed 3 women in particular, but he may be responsible for the deaths of 5 other women who were all found deceased of the same method, and the same thing was done to them post-mortem. But there may be as many as 8 women. I use kills. Get rid of all those blood stains and smells. You may be responsible for loads, right? Question number 2. Where did Stephen dismember 2 of the 3 women and eat parts of them? Was it A, the kitchen, B, the bathtub, C, his car, or D, abandoned warehouses? Where did Stephen dismember 2 of the 3 women and eat parts of their bodies? Friendly talker, good evening and welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a great weekend. Lemon pie is going with warehouses. Cement shoes is going with kitchen. Juicy Jules is going with the bathtub along with Gianna Marie. E, a teacup ride at Disney World. Inner Peace is going with Arby's. Challenge your stomach to a fight. Or Arby's, we've got the meat. Where did he dismember and eat 2 of the 3 women? Question number 2. The correct answer to question number 2 is B as in boy, the bathtub. Now, hit the mute button, turn the volume off, or whatever you want for the next minute here, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how he did this. The first victim, he stabbed her, and then he dragged her into the bathtub in his apartment. And then he shot at her with the crossbow for a period of time until he was exhausted from having to reload the crossbow over and over again to shoot more arrows into her. He ended up cutting a piece of her flesh out from underneath her left breast. Was the first piece of flesh that he cut out from her and removed. He ate it without cooking it. He ate it raw. The second victim, he did pretty much the same thing with the same method, stabbed her to death, but she was actually using or was in the bathroom and was trying to leave the bathroom when he stabbed her and killed her in the bathroom. And again, shot her multiple times with a crossbow. And he actually dismembered and, almost say that he almost completely severed her head. The best way to put it. All right. Good evening, Reichart. Hi, guys. Just joining in. Is this channel for members only now? I tried replaying Saturday morning's brew, and it told me that it's members only. No, Reichart. So both of the episodes where I answered the questions, 20 questions about serial killers, both of those episodes have been moved to members only because, well, I hate to say it, and this is the actual real truth though, it cost me money to make these videos, and it costs money to advertise, to put the whole thing together, from research, the electricity, the internet, the editing software. All this costs money. And most Saturday morning coffee brew episodes, I make in a given month after replay and everything, I might make 19 cents. And I'll spend $30, $40 on just the production of making the actual content. I can't continue to lose money over and over again, month after month, and not have, some way of getting that money back. Where I had someone step up and offer to support both of those videos with a donation, and I moved them to channel member only because it helped them, and they could actually, put the playlist on and just watch everything. And that's why I did it. So both of them, and the next one, part 3, when it comes out, it won't be this coming Saturday. It'll be another Saturday. But that will also be viewed live, to the world, and then will be moved to channel member. So that's why you actually saw you had to be a channel member in order to watch that. That's the way the world goes, though, ladies and gentlemen. I can't do everything for free. I do a vast majority of it for free, but I do have to somehow find a way to balance it all out a little bit. All right. Question, and thank you again for 44 months of being a subscriber and member. Yeah, cement shoes for 44 months. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Question number 3. Stephen was actually well versed with different weapons. He was actually an expert marksman. However, he never used a gun to kill. What was his second weapon of choice? Was it A, a baseball bat, B, a tire iron, C, a wooden cross, or D, a samurai sword? Stephen was actually well versed in different weapons. And when it comes to, now you have to remember, he lived in the United Kingdom, where it's not like in the United States where every, Tom, Dick, and Harry has access to, a gun or a rifle or whatever. But he was a trained marksman. He never owned an actual gun. But he did. I don't know how it works there, but there are photos of him you can find online with him, and he's holding a Mosin Ganat. I think that's how you pronounce it. Rifle. It's a Yugoslavian or Russian built. I'm not. You'd have to look at it really closely to see which where it was actually manufactured, Russia or Yugoslavia. But he's holding it. I've actually owned one. I might buy another one of these days. A super soaker. We have D for Juicy Jules, lemon, Little Linda, Record, cup of water, lemon pie, a D, and D for inner peas as well, is it? Gianna Marie, everybody's going with D. Reichardt's going with C. Question number 3. The correct answer is D as in dog, a samurai sword. When dispatching his victims, i.e., killing his victims, he didn't use a samurai sword necessarily to stab them. He always carried with him a hunting knife and the samurai sword when he dispatched his victim. If he could get close enough to them, he preferred to stab them with the knife. If they tried to run from him or tried to get out of his apartment or away from him, he used his samurai sword. But the samurai sword was his second choice. Just seems to go along with crossbow more than the others. Ghost rifle, right? I wonder how that works. Somebody has to know how the laws in the UK work when it comes to using a rifle and training. Because in some of the photos that I found online, it actually shows him at an outdoor like rifle range, and it's not like somebody just goes out in the middle of the woods and target practices. This was like a legitimate target range where they had like tables and stuff for people to shoot from. I didn't know that they had stuff like that in the UK. I thought that was just like purely in an American, because we love our guns in America. Because we're in America. Just seems to go along with crossbow. Yeah. All right. Question number 4. How did Stephen describe to a state forensic examiner the taste of human flesh was to him? Was it A, it tastes like chicken, B, it tastes like pork, C, mild but yummy, or D, smooth like Yorkshire pudding? Samurai Jack. How did Stephen describe to a state forensic examiner the taste of human flesh was to him? Question number 4 of 20. I mean, I could probably find out the answers to gun laws in the UK. You know, I just have to get a hold of my uncle. But every time I text him, it always takes him like 3 or 4 days before he responds back. Apparently the man's busy. Roadkill. Tastes like roadkill. Cement shoes and Little Linda are going with B, Gianna Marie D, and lemon pie A. Ooh, lemon pie. It says E. It like pineapple on pizza. D, I don't know Yorkshire pudding is. You know, Kitty Q, I don't know if I've ever had Yorkshire pudding myself. I've heard of it. I wouldn't know it, it from any other pudding, I guess. I'm guessing it doesn't look like pudding like, Bill Cosby's, pudding. Good. I don't know about that. Right car is going yum yum C. Tastes like yum. Pudding made of Yorkshire Terriers. Oh, little Linda. Oh boy. Pudding made from Yorkshire Terriers. All right. Question number 4. The correct answer is D as in dog. Smooth like Yorkshire pudding is the correct answer. So he said human flesh tasted like to a state forensic examiner. Question number 5. Before his arrest for murder and other charges, how many times were the Bobbies, the police, warned about the strange man who lived on the 3rd floor of his complex? Was it A, 8 times, B, 2 times, C, 10 times, or D, 0? Why did they ask him? I don't know, Lemon Pie. I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe they just wanted to know. Maybe they're just trying to get him to talk, communicate with them. Kitty Q is going with A. D like dog. Little Linda is going with D. Kitty Q A? Question mark. Yuck, I will never eat Yorkshire pudding now. Cement shoes, I'm pretty sure it's not made out of Yorkshire Terriers, but I don't know. All right. While you guys think about this question, I'm going to look it up. Yorkshire pudding. There's even a Gordon Ramsay recipe is the first one that pops up. I'm guessing that's probably closer. All right. Ingredients are 4 eggs, 1.5 cups of milk, half a teaspoon of coarse salt, 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, and 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil or beef drippings. That's what it says, beef drippings. Okay. That is ingredients for making 5 Yorkshire puddings. You basically you put them in a muffin tin, is what the Americans would call it. That yield is for 12. 4 eggs, 1.5 cups of milk, 1/2 teaspoon of coarse salt, 1 1/4 cups of flour, and 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil or beef drippings. That is on Gordon Ramsay's site. Is there any fur? Apparently not. There's no Yorkshire Terriers in there at all, or fur. Nothing. Huh. Yorkshire is a blood pudding yucky. My pup has a Kong, and they sell canned stuff to fill them with. One flavor is puppy. Ooh, Yorkshire cheesecake. That's what it sounds like, close to me, right? Like almost like a cheesecake without the cream cheese. All right. Before his arrest for murder and other charges, how many times were the Bobbies, the police, warned about the strange man on the third floor of the complex? The correct answer to question number 5 is A as in apple. 8 times. 8 times the neighbors had complained to the police, the apartment manager, about the strange man who lived on the third floor. So much so that the actual landlord who took care of the apartment complex, he's the one that actually installed the CCTV cameras in the hallways and entrances to the complex to try to document what everybody kept on complaining about, this strange man on the third floor. Because every time anybody ever ran into him, he was the most cordial, well spoken individual. He had a good job. He always paid his bills. But then all these people started complaining constantly, not about the smell of rotting flesh in his apartment or people screaming for their lives in his apartment. It was strange things that he did in the hallway, walking around with a samurai sword, walking around with a crossbow, running up and down the hallways, with one of the two. I mean, these are the kind of complaints that kept on coming into the landlord. And then when the landlord wasn't able to do anything, people started complaining to the police. Somebody's got to do something about this crazy man up on the third floor. But 8 times they contacted the police, and actually no one really did anything or other than try to address it. But after the landlord installed the CCTV system, that would eventually end up in how he ended up getting caught, was because what got captured on CCTV. But we'll get into it a little bit later here. But 8 times. Yes, he actually upgraded his cameras. All right, question number 6. Every one of Stephen Griffith's victims all had the same victimology. Which one does not fit all of them? Was it A, they were transvestites, B, hookers, C, drug addicts, or D, runaways? Now, I know there are people out there that are going to be offended by the word transvestite, because we live in a PC culture where people like to use another word to identify somebody who is changing genders. I am not being offensive by using that. I am stating that and using that one as one of the options, because that is how Stephen Griffith described people who hung out outside of his apartment complex. He called them transvestites. All right, so if with the context of that, that is one of the options that is listed there. But which one does not fit all of his victims? He was a party animal. Gianna Marie's going A. Little Linda A. Right car A as well. Lemon Pie is going with E. Yorkshire pudding lovers. Oh, wow. People warned Popo something's wrong. Yes, they did. Juicy Jules is going with A as well. I just cut off Mario's head. I did. I cut off Mario's head. A sticker from the Mario Brothers just cut off his. I put the sticker on there today on the back of my laptop, and it was sticking up just a little bit too much, and it was coming stuck. So I just cut it off. Snip. A pair of scissors. Mario's head is now gone, or at least part of it is. Just Jules or D. Question number 6 of 20. All right, the correct answer to question number 6 is A as in apple. None of his victims were transvestites. All of them were born and identified and were female. None of them were transvestites. They identified and they were not transitioning to another sex, but every single one of them was a prostitute, addicted to drugs, and they were all runaways. They may not have been a runaway, newly runaway, but they were all working the streets as prostitutes and they were addicted to drugs. But they started off as runaways, all 3 of the known women. And again, he may have killed as many as 8 women. They are still, in 2024, investigating the other additional 5. All right, question number 7. Take a look at this face. Would you guess that this man had a huge private collection of books on blank? Was it A, bird watching, B, painting like Bob Ross, or C, serial killers, or D, religious cults like me? Diddy A. Brunt, DV. I have really bad reception here in Winchester, Virginia. I'm sorry, right, Gart? Take a look at this face. Would you guess this man had a huge private collection of books on blank? Fill in the blank. Set Shoes and Kitty Q are going with C. Inner Peace is going with Beanie Babies. Gianna Marie's going with C. Lemon Pie A. Rykar's going with C, of course. Little Linda is going with C as well. What did he have a large collection of books on? Reading your face. Nice. Lucky you. Lemon Pie is going with E, aromatherapy. He had a world's largest collection of books on aromatherapy. Juicy Jules is going with C. Look at that face. Would you guess that this man has a huge private collection of books on, what would those books be on? Bird watching, painting like Bob Ross, serial killers, or cults? Religious cults. Left-handed RN has joined the group, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Left-handed RN, and welcome to tonight's trivia. And Left-handed RN is going with C as well. All right, the correct answer to question 7 is, in fact, C, as in cat. He had a very extensive collection of books on serial killers. Additionally, in his apartment, he had over 100 DVDs and VHS tapes on serial killers. And a lot of his collection was on one individual in particular. Now, those DVDs were not all manufactured like a DVD that came in a box like you bought from a retail store. Some of them were in paper slips because he recorded them, off of the internet or off of television and then burned them to a DVD so he could rewatch them over and over again. He had a lot, and it freaked out some people that we're going to learn about later on. Question number 8. Oh, here first, these are pictures of the 3 known women that Stephen killed. on the right-hand side. The crossbow that he used, I used it as an actual photo earlier, but that is the crossbow that he used. Did he go to jail? Do not pass go. All right. Question number 8. Growing up, what did his headmaster of the final primary school say Stephen needed to work on if he planned to be successful in life? Was it A, relieving stress responsibly, B, dealing with his anger, C, coming to terms with reality, or D, bathe more? He stinks a lot. Who were the movies about? Cement shoes? Well, we're going to find out. That's one of the questions later on. Growing up, what did the headmaster of the final primary school say Stephen needed to work on if he planned to be successful in life? Lemon Pie is going with D. Cement shoes going with B. Little Linda is going with D as well, that he's a stinky, stinky man. Crossbow, wow. Question number 8 of 20. Kitty Q's going with A. Inner peace. Leaving his gun at home. E. Grow a beard or don't. It says lemon pie. Kitty Q's going with A. Question mark. Gianna Marie D. Juicy Jules B. Rycart D. With a stinky skunk. What did the headmaster of his final primary school say Stephen needed to work on if he planned to be successful in life? Question number 8. The correct answer to question 8 is B as in boy. Dealing with his anger. When Stephen would find himself overstressed, he got angry a lot in class and at other students and at other teachers in his primary school. He was called down to the headmaster's office more than a few times, and they said, and they tried to work on dealing with his anger and finding ways to relieve the anger and to let it go and not work himself up into it. We're going to find out more about his education as this goes on, because it gets better. Oh. Question number 9. Who did Stephen Griffiths idolize so much it actually ended his relationship with his girlfriend Susan, because it was bordering on a compulsive idolization? Was it A, Pope John Paul V, B, Princess Diana, C, Peter Sutcliffe, or D, Ted Bundy? I'm growing a beard, aka hormones. That happens. That happens. Hormone replacement therapy. It happens. Inner P's go with Barry effing Mountain Lion Morphew. It says Inner P's. Stinky as a former Prez Trump 2024. Right card's going with D. D, of course. He idolized Pee Wee Herman. No, it wasn't. Well, not Rick Moranis. Pee Wee Herman. Oh, damn it! It was right there too. Now it escapes me. Here at Pee Wee's Playhouse. Paul something. Paul, not Moranis. Paul. Drawing a blank on it. Gianna Marie is going with A, and Juicy Jules is going with B. Who did Stephen Griffiths idolize so much so it actually ended his relationship with his girlfriend Susan because it was bordering on a compulsive idolization. Rubens, thank you, little Linda. Thank you. Rubens, Paul Rubens. That was who played Pee Wee Herman. Ah, more for you. They're coming for you. I hope so. I want justice for Suzanne and her daughters. Makes me kind of ill thinking that they really do think that their father is innocent. He's funny, Pee Wee. Eating a Reuben right now, says little Linda. Reuben sandwiches are good. If you can make a good one or find a place that serves a good one. All right, question number 9. The correct answer is C as in cat. Peter Sutcliffe, the serial killer. Peter Sutcliffe. And to answer your question, Cement Shoes, who did he have all of the DVDs on? A vast majority of the DVDs were on Peter Sutcliffe. He recorded television programs where Peter Sutcliffe was on them, being led to and from court, being during the actual trial and everything else, news footage about Peter Sutcliffe, the crimes of Peter Sutcliffe, the made for TV movies about the murders that Peter Sutcliffe committed, anything and everything. He collected letters, he collected memorabilia about the man. He filled his entire life around, and full of things that Peter Sutcliffe was into and did. What Peter Sutcliffe liked to eat, he changed that to his favorite food. Where Peter Sutcliffe liked to go out at night, he went to those places. And he tried to mold himself into the next Peter Sutcliffe. Although his crimes were nowhere near the same, he was so infatuated with him and his crimes that it destroyed his relationship with his girlfriend Susan, and she broke it off and said, "I'm not going to have anything to do with you while you're into this, whatever is going on here, because you're going way beyond just being a fan." Peter Sutcliffe. All right, question number 10. Who did Stephen Griffith tell on one or more occasions he wanted to kill people that did nothing to him, yet wanted to do it to see how it felt? Was it A, his mother, B, his girlfriend Susan, C, his father, or D, his therapist? Who did Stephen Griffith tell on more than one occasion he wanted to kill people that did nothing to him, yet he wanted to see how it felt? Kitty Kid is going with D, question mark. Lemon Pie is going with A, because everybody tells their mommy, "Mommy, Mama, I'm coming home, because I killed a man." Lemon Pie is going with E, Queen Elizabeth. The Lieutenant Oran is going with D. His therapist, Little Linda's going with B. Cement Shoes, D. He told Pee Wee Herman. Inner Peace is going with, he told Pee Wee Herman over on Pee Wee's Playhouse. Did he put a letter in the mailbox? Mailbox! Or is that Blue's Clues? Oh, the inner things that tumble around in my head. Gianna Marie is going with D as well, his therapist. On more than one occasion, he told someone he wanted to kill people that did nothing to him. Nothing. He just wanted to see how it felt. Juicy Jules is going with A. Told his mother. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for question number 10, of 20. The correct answer is D as in dog. He told his therapist multiple times over the course of 2 years that he was seeing this one particular therapist that he wanted to kill people because he wanted to see how it felt. By law, the therapist could not tell the police. Even in the UK, you can't break that confidentiality between patient and therapist unless you believe that there's a real good chance or a chance that they're going to be harmful to themselves or to others. The therapist did not believe that he broke that, that point of going towards planning it or doing anything more in the actions of it. So it was more of just talk during therapy than anything else. But on more than one occasion throughout the relationship, the patient therapist relationship, he told the therapist he wanted to kill people because he wanted to see how it felt and that they did nothing to him. And then later on, he ended that therapist and patient relationship and stopped going to see that therapist. And within a year, Stephen Griffin started killing people within a year after ending that relationship, the professional relationship. Oh, I was going to pick therapist. Do another Pee Wee laugh. Impersonation, Will. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is our first 10 questions. We now take our normal 6-minute break. Do what you need to do for the next 6 minutes before we come back and we tackle 10 more questions. I think if someone said that to me, I'd be concerned. I would be concerned too. I have a lot of friends and I've talked to a lot of people in my day-to-day life. And if somebody told me, somebody that I know well, that they were thinking about killing people because they wanted to see how it felt, I would be a little bit disturbed by that. And I'm not being a professional and I'm therapist. I think I'd have to tell somebody, yo, Nutso over here is thinking about killing people because he wants to see how it feels. Good break. You didn't study inner peas? Crossbow killer? And if you want to later on, if you want to look into more of the Crossbow Cannible, you could also look up not only Stephen Griffith, the murders of Stephen Griffith, but you could also look up the Bradford murders. Bradford, Bradford, Bradford murders. Was it? I lost reception again here in Winchester, Virginia. I'm sorry, right, Cart? Might be the mountains or the terrain because you're losing the reception. Two more minutes left to break. And then we're back at it. 2 more minutes. I'm gonna go get a haircut tomorrow. It's getting too long. Anyone see the Aurora Borealis? No, I didn't. For me, first off, I didn't hear about it even coming, but apparently a lot of people did. Even people locally in my area, they said it was one of the brightest Aurora Borealis, most clear in this area they've ever seen. But once you get to the outskirts of town, where I am, you might in every direction, well, towards the north, you would look for it. There are no lights for anything, for as far as you can see. So you'd have you would have any ambient light that would be in the way that would block it. But I didn't. Well, probably the White House keeps blocking me. Biden doesn't like me. Yeah, I'm sure it's Biden. He's picking on you, right, Cart? 30 seconds. 30 seconds until we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Five, four, three, two, one. And we're back. Question number 11 is now on your screen. Killing is the easy part. Now the hard part is, where do you get rid of the bodies? Where did Stephen get rid of the bodies is the question. Was it A, in a forest outside of London? B, in the River Aire? C, in a dumpster? Or D, in a city pond? Killing is the easy part. Now the hard part is, where do you get rid of the bodies? Well, I tried to call Pippa Dot and her number was disconnected. I emailed her twice. No response yet. Just so everyone knows, hoping the best for her, though. Same here. I have not seen Pippa Dot online at all in any of the forums that at least the last week. I hope that everything's okay. The killing is the easy part. Now, the hard part is, where do you get rid of the bodies? Rock Hard's going. What is right? Oh, Rock Hard's alarm clock. Kitty Q's going with B. Little Linda B. Meant choose C. A lemon pie. And A. Inner Peas is going with E. A pet cemetery. I mean, you bury your pets there. You might as well put your bodies there. Lemon pie is going with at Wimbledon tennis matches. Oh, Juicy Jules. Fireball in the sky in Spain and Portugal. Wow. Lieutenant RN is going with B. So is Reichart. Juicy Jules is going with A. The picture you see on your screen is the CCTV timeline of his final victim. She was taken. He's walking with her at 3:35 and 1 second, and by 4:28 and 40 seconds, she is gone. She is no longer with him. Killing is the easy part. Now the hard part is, where do you get rid of the bodies? Where did Stephen get rid of the bodies? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is B as in boy. B as in boy, in the River Aire. And ladies and gentlemen, Stephen didn't live anywhere near the actual River Aire. This is what Stephen had to do to just, first off, he dismembered the body, cut the body up in pieces. Then he put the body into a backpack, in a plastic bag, and then put them into a backpack. Then he took a train, then a light rail, and then he walked 4 blocks from the station to the River Aire and then tossed the bag out of the backpack into the river. And after he was actually convicted of the crime, he took the authorities back to where he discarded each victim in the River Aire. And they sent a diver into the river and retrieved the bags that were in the river itself, full of body parts. But he dismembered them and threw them into the River Aire. Think about that. That man had in a backpack on his back parts of women. How many trips did it take him? It definitely, unless it was a humongous backpack, it must have taken him several trips to go to the River Aire to get rid of one body. Now you repeat that over and over again. All right, question number 12. Make sure to read and understand this. Stephen Griffiths was diagnosed as a violent blank at the age of 17 while in prison, yet he was released. They even get it wrong in the UK. What was he diagnosed with at the age of 17 while in prison? Was it A, a violent personality disorder, B, a violent Methodist coloring book addict, C, a violent psychopath, or D, a violent schizophrenic? Stephen Griffin was diagnosed as a violent blank at the age of 17 while in prison. Which one is it? Little Linda's going with D. So is Kitty Q. Cement Shoes is going with C. Gianna Marie is going with D as well. Rockart is going with D. Interpeas is going with E. S-O-B. Don't trust guys with backpacks, says Rockart. I take a backpack just about everywhere I go. A black tactical backpack. It used to be my bug out bag, but I changed it to another bag. It's not a backpack anymore. My bug out bag. But I take that black backpack everywhere I go. It's got my cameras in it. It's got my battery chargers, and it's got a built-in external battery in it itself that I can use to charge cell phones and other devices with. But everywhere I go, I take that black backpack. Rat card's going with D as well. Violent schizophrenic. Question number 12 of 20. Lemon Pie is going with C, a violent psychopath. Well, Stephen Griffin was diagnosed with being a violent schizophrenic, D as in dog, when he was 17 years old and was incarcerated on theft charges. At 17 years of age, he was diagnosed as a violent schizophrenic. Not schizophrenia, schizophrenic personality disorder or schizophrenic traits. The actual diagnosis says violent schizophrenic. It says how the professionals there wrote it up as violent schizophrenic. Now, is that correct? Should they have written it down as violent schizophrenic? No. Violence is a side effect of the actual schizophrenia. It's a behavior of the schizophrenia. It should have just said schizophrenia, but they didn't. They wrote out in actual pen on the form violent schizophrenic. Your little black book too, Will? Oh yeah. I carry these everywhere. They're like the composition books you had in school, but I mean just a little tiny one. I carry these everywhere. I have them by my bed in my bedroom. I keep one of these on the nightstand with a pen and a pencil. I have one in the cup holder in my truck. I have one in my bag. Yes, I have one in my bag as well. I take them everywhere. I write down all kinds of things in them, like ideas for different videos, topics, suggestions, things that I want to work on to get better at, when it comes to making my content. All right, question number 13. But no, I don't keep phone numbers in it. Those are all in my phone. Oh, I forgot to click on it. There, it won't give you question number 13 unless I click on it. Question number 13. Stephen considers himself a poet at one point. He compared himself to another killer who was never a poet. Not sure why, but who is it? Was it A, David Berkowitz, B, H.H. Holmes, C, Peter Sutcliffe, or D, Harold Shipman? Question number 13 of 20. Stephen considered himself a poet at one point. He compared himself to another killer who was never a poet. Not sure why, but who is it? So I choose to go with C. Stop, Will. He's got a backpack on. That's funny, right, Cart? Just saw that. Kitty Kid's going with C. Question marks, Smith Shoes, Little Linda, and Lemon Pie are all going with C. Juicy Jules, she knew it. She knew I'd have my little black book with me. Only time I don't take one of those little black books with me someplace is when I'm golfing. When I'm golfing, I turn off my phone. I leave and I put that in my golf bag, and I don't think about anything except for just golfing. It's the only time that I get away from everything. Rockcon's going, E, Barry Morphew, man. He compared himself to Barry Morphew. God, I hope Barry Morphew wasn't a poet. Peter Brady. E, high blood pressure, the silent killer. What happens at golf stays at golf. LOL. It's the only way I deal with all the stress and everything else with life. Even if I was just driving around in my golf cart, I'd do that if I couldn't play. I've done that after having knee surgery. Couldn't golf. Just drove around in my golf cart watching other people play. Gets me away. Gets me out in the fresh air. Otherwise, I like to exercise. All right, question number 13. Who did he compare himself to? The correct answer is C, as in cat. And hello and good evening, Purple. Welcome to tonight's trivia, Purple. I hope that you and your hubby are doing well. Thank you for joining us tonight. But C, as in cat, Peter Sutcliffe. He compared himself to Peter Sutcliffe. Oh, also earlier. So when I'm talking about when he was diagnosed with schizophrenia at the age of 17. I forgot to mention that later on, um, that Stephen was convicted of a violent felony for slashing the throat of a security guard who was trying to stop him from shoplifting. That was later on, but he was convicted of a violent crime. But the first reason why he was there was because of theft. But later on, it was the violent. There was a violent felony he was convicted of. All right, so again, he was still a juvenile. He was under the age of 18. All right, I just forgot to mention that part. Sorry about that. Question 13. The correct answer is C, as in cat, Peter Sutcliffe, who was never a poet, but Peter did like to write rambling notes and letters. But he idolized. This is the same man he idolized and he compared himself to. He thought that he was more of a Peter Sutcliffe of the world. And yes, he did have DVDs and a small amount of news coverage of Harold Shipman and his crimes, but nowhere near the amount of stuff that he had on Peter Sutcliffe. Question number 14. By all accounts from family and friends, Stephen was abused as a child, ignored even more. He started abusing drugs and alcohol to escape at what age? Was it A, age 10, B, age 7, C, age 4, or D, age 14? By all accounts from family and friends, Stephen was abused as a child and ignored even more. He started abusing drugs and alcohol to escape at what age? Purple and Cement Shoes are both going with B. Kitty Q is going with A. Question mark. Question number 14 of 20. Little Linda's chiming in with D, age 14. Question 14 of 20. By all accounts, by his family and friends. When Stephen, 144,000, says Reichard, age of 144,000. Gianna Marie is going with B. At his actual trial for murder, for the three murders that he was convicted of, at that trial, he had a very extensive amount of family and friends who came to support him, and a lot of them blamed the society and the system itself for not protecting society from, Stephen, and when it came down to it. But they believe that he's a victim in this entire thing, just like the victims he killed, dismembered, and ate. But what age did he start abusing drugs and alcohol to escape? Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer to question number 14 is A, as in apple. At the age of 10, he started off using marijuana at the age of 10 and then started taking even harder drugs and alcohol. Drinking at that time, he started at the age of 10 with older boys in his area who were hanging out and doing nothing good with their lives. He befriended them and he would run errands for them and get them things, that they wanted, shoplift, cigarettes or food or whatever they wanted. And they, in exchange, would give him alcohol at the age of 10. He's an old soul. I disagree as well in a piece about his family believing that he was a victim just as much as the victims he killed and ate. I agree with you. I disagree, but that's how they believed. Question number 15. You can check in, but you can never leave. What did Stevens do to his ex-girlfriend, Kathy Hancock, after they broke up? Was it A, he stalked her every day? B, he sent her a love letter every day? C, he called her 4 times a day? Or D, he killed her? You can check in, but you can never leave. What did Stephen do to his ex-girlfriend, Kathy Hancock, after they broke up? Kitty Kid's going with A. So is little Linda. Ugh. Have you guys ever tried these before? Totally on the side, but they're called splash waters. I don't have my glasses and I can't read that size of font. I don't even have my backup glasses in here. Blue something brands. Stamford, Connecticut. Not bad water. These ones are lemon. Apparently they come in lemon, lime, and other like berry fruit flavors. We bought a whole case of these from Costco. I mean, they have no calories, 50 grams of sodium, milligrams of sodium, so very low sodium. Total sugars is 0. The little bit of sweetener that is in it comes from, it's got magnesium in it. That's naturally found magnesium. What makes the sweetness to it? Added sugar. So there's no total sugars, but 0 grams. But there is 0.15 DV, whatever the hell that is, of sugar. Rickrolled. Lemon pie, Rickrolled. Y'all know what Rickrolled is, right? Rickroll. You got Rickrolled? No? Rick Ashley? No? Anybody? He sang a Hotel California to her. Oh, Rycar got my reference there. You can check in, but you can never leave. Today I had to explain to my husband what Rickroll is. All right, question number 15. The correct answer is A as in apple. He stalked her every day for a year. Every day for a year. He didn't call her. He just kept on showing up every single place that she went. She went to work. He showed up in front of her work. She went home. She saw him standing on the street corner next to her home. She went to the grocery store. He was somewhere in the grocery store. He wouldn't talk to her. And when she tried to approach him, why the hell are you doing this? He would just disappear into the crowd or wherever she went. But it happened for an entire year afterwards. He stalked her every single day. And she was afraid of what he was going to do because she had never seen the inside of the apartment except for once. Every time they got together, it was always at her place, at her parents' home, and when she got her own apartment. And the one time she went to his apartment and saw the inside of it, She was freaked the hell out. And she got the hell out of there as soon as she could because it was, well, it wasn't messy. It was just a huge amount of collection of stuff of nothing but Peter Sutcliffe and the murders, you know, and everything else that he'd done, that Peter Sutcliffe had done. So she saw it and she got the hell out of there. And she goes, "That's it. We're done." She didn't even care who the hell all this stuff was about. She just couldn't take it. All right, question number 16. Kind of hard to see in this photo, but it's Stephen telling the world that they are number one with his left hand. When was this CCTV image taken? Was it A, after killing, B, before killing, C, while stalking a victim, or D, while grocery shopping? Question number 16 of 20. They're never going to let you go. Little Linda's going with A, and so is cement shoes. Lemon pie is C, and Kitty is going with A. While sitting at church. Lemon pie. He's sitting in church. He's telling the world, "You're number one." And Gianna Marie is going with C, and so is Rykard. Smoke him if you got him. Smoke him if you got him, ladies and gentlemen. Question number 16 of 20. Purple is going with C, while stalking a victim. All right, ladies and gentlemen, question number 16. The correct answer is A as in apple. So one of his victims, her name was Suzanne Blamires, Blamires, Blamires. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. I'm terrible with names. But her name is Suzanne. He got her into his apartment with the intention to kill her. And she got out of the apartment. So he took off running down the hallway after her with his crossbow. And this photo was taken by the CCTV that the manager had installed, and it showed him after he had killed her. This is how he got caught, was not only the victim on the video running away from his apartment, but then him running after her with the crossbow. That was the end thing for Stephen. They came and arrested him shortly thereafter. But after killing is when he stopped before he went into his apartment, which is behind him, and flipped off the camera, showing it that the world is number one in his mind. Question number 17. Stephen was out of his mind at times, yet at the same time he was studying and was well on his way of getting his doctorate in which field of study? Think Idaho 4. Was it A, mathematics, B, criminology, C, civil engineering, or D, advanced AI and computing? Stephen was out of his mind at times, yet at the same time, he was studying and was well on his way to getting his doctorate in which field of study. Linda, Kitty Q, Lemon Pie. Lemon Pie's going with C. Cement Shoes and Purple are all going with B. Lemon Pie, he was going to get his doctorate in gender studies. Good luck with that. Gianna Marie is going with B. What was he studying to get his doctorate in? Rackard's going with B, of course. Theology. Inner Peace says theology. I can see him doing really well. Yeah, becoming a priest or something, someone of the cloth. Question number 17 of 20. Alrighty, the correct answer to question number 17 is B, as in boy. Just like Brian Kohlberg, the suspect, alleged murderer of the 4 students at the University of Idaho Moscow campus, Shaun Griffiths was getting his degree, his doctorate in criminology. They were both criminology advanced studies students. Criminology. Now, think about this. In order to be in the criminology, area itself, because Stephen's criminal record of his violent attack on that security guard happened when he was 17, and they never checked his actual record. If they would have seen that he had more than one arrest, and that would have, barred him from studying criminology and getting a doctorate in that field. But they never checked on his background. And because he was a juvenile at the time of the violent attack, the courts wouldn't have told the school necessarily what he had done. They would have told him that he had a felony and a violent attack, which again would have barred him from studying and getting his degree in criminology. Is there something like that in the background of Brian Kohlberg? I don't know. I don't think so. Because I think we all would have heard if Brian Kohlberg had some kind of, lengthy criminal history by now. I like cameras in the courtroom, but I appreciate the artist drawings. Some of them are pretty good. I think, side note though, I think that the whoever the artist is who's drawing the pictures of Donald Trump during his trial in New York is, either they're taking liberties with, how they're sketching him and drawing him and other people on the witness stand, or they have an agenda at the very least, because they are not doing anyone who's been on the witness stand or in the courtroom any favors there. But I have seen some really good ones that have been done before. Or a girlfriend. Yeah, that's true. All right, question number 18. Join the 99% club, Stephen. 99% of all known, studied, and captured serial killers have one victim they feel connected to. Who was the unlucky victim for Stephen? Was it A, Mary Lipmore, B, Susan Kenworth, C, Susan Rushworth, or D, Margaret Lampington. Join the 99% club, Stephen. 99% of all known, studied, and captured serial killers have one victim they feel connected to. Who was this unlucky victim for Stephen? Lemon Pie is going with B. Kitty Coo is going with C. Little Linda is going with C. C as well. Ooh, Rackar, Gianna Marie are going with C as well. The 99% club. Lemon Pie is the only outlier with B. Susan Kentworth. Kenworth? That's Kenworth like in the truck, isn't it? Or are they spelled differently? I know there's a Kenworth truck. I'm just talking it out, trying to see if any of them make sense to me, or if I've heard those names before. Now, I think I've heard of Margaret Lampington before, but who was she? A victim, or she is somebody else, famous for something else, or another case? Mary Lipmore. Oh, look at that. The two A and D both are M and L. Mary Lipmore and Margaret Lampington. Oh, and look, the two in the middle are Susans. Huh. Cement Shoes is going with B, and Purple is going with D. Or is Will playing with us here by listing them that way? M, L, and ML for A and D, and Susan's for both of the middles. Huh. All right. Well, the correct answer to question number 18 of 20 is C as in cat. Susan Rushworth. Susan Rushworth. Stephen refuses to talk about at all. He won't say what he did to her. He won't tell the police where he buried her or discarded her body. She was not found in the River Aire along with the other two victims. Where did he dispatch her of her? Did he bury her? Did he throw her in the river someplace else? They don't know. Because he, again, refuses to tell the authorities where anything about what he did with Susan Rushworth. He liked them all, says Interpeas. Join the 144,000 club with Pat Robertson. All right, question number 19. He won't say where she is, and her mother has pretty much begged him. It's sad, yeah. Yeah, she has. She's been asking him for years. Like, just let us know. You know, what did you do with her? Where is she? Let us have some closure, but he won't do it. Question number 19. Prison has been a picnic for Stephen. He has gone on and off his meds. He's suffered greatly at his own hands. He's tried to starve himself to death. And what else in the first 2 years while behind bars? Was it A, drink poison, B, hang himself, C, get shanked for theft, or D, slash his wrist? Prison has been a picnic for Stephen. He's gone on and off his meds. He's suffered greatly at his own hands. He's tried to starve himself to death. And what else in the first 2 years behind bars? Kitty Coo is going with B, question mark. Little Linda and Lemon Pie are going there to B as well. Question number 19. Cement Shoes going with B. In case you're wondering about starving himself, yeah, after he binge watched the Jersey Shore Lemon Pie, He put himself on a self-imposed hunger strike, refusing to eat anything except for drink water. And multiple times they found him unconscious in his cell or somewhere else in the prison, and they brought him to the infirmary. They gave him fluids. He got better, and they released him, and he went back, and he went right back to doing the same thing again, putting himself on a self-imposed hunger strike again. And finally, they had enough of it. So I think they had to go to court or something to medically make him take his medication and force feed him. Binge watch the Jersey Shore. I mean, you put yourself on hunger strike if you watch the Jersey Shore too. But what else did Stephen do to himself? He suffered greatly in his own hands in the first 2 years behind bars. Gianna Marie is going with D. Question number 19 of 20. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer to question number 19, unfortunately, is not hang himself. The correct answer is D as in dog. He slashed his wrist after the third time that he was found unconscious, and they medically brought him back and got him better by giving him IVs and getting him to eat and everything else, and then him just putting himself back on a starvation thing that he was doing for whatever stupid reason. He slashed his wrist after the third time, and that was the catalyst for them to finally be able to go into court and make them, to get the court to say, look, you can forcefully medicate him and make him eat. If he's not going to eat, you can force food into him by a tube that goes straight through the esophagus into the stomach. Boom. And it's the liquid diet that he gets, he's unconscious, obviously, but that's how it works. And they got the court to agree that he has to be taken care of because he can't keep on doing this. But it wasn't until he slashed his wrist that they were finally able to forcibly, medicate him and do everything else. Since then, he's pretty much given up on, the starvation, deathbed stuff and, slashing his wrist or doing anything else harmful to himself. And all the while refusing to tell Suzanne's mother what he did with Suzanne through all of this. After all the time he's been in prison so far, he still refuses. Smooth like Yorkshire pudding. All right, question 20. First, get the victim back to the apartment, then stab them with a knife or sword. When I know they're dead, shoot them with the crossbow. Remove arrows, then blank. Next time, cutting them up and eating them. Fill in the blank. What was the next part that he did after removing the arrows? Was it A, make love to them, B, strangle them, C, take pictures with them, or D, call Barry Morphew? First, get the victim back to the apartment, stab them with a knife or sword. When I know they're dead, shoot them with a crossbow. Removing the arrows, then blank. What did he do next? Did he dye his hair? His hair looks like he colored his hair. Well, his hair color is naturally a darker brownish black. Did he color it at any time? Not that I'm aware of, Reichart. He may have. Maybe he gets sunlight somewhere and it bleaches it. I don't know. Can't answer that question. We got Little Linda, Smith Shoes, and Lemon Pie are all going with C. Reichart, it's D, of course. He called Barry Morphew. I mean, once you kill them and you know they're dead and you've shot them full of arrows, you got to call Barry Morphew next. Purple is going with C as well. Question 20 of 20. Gianna Marie is going with C as well. In case you're wondering, ladies and gentlemen, all of this that is on this question was all written out in a notebook. Stephen Griffith had taken extensive notes and had planned out how to commit murder and what to do as step by step. And that's exactly what you see here on the screen. Get them back to the apartment was the first step. Some of them, he always met them on the street. He either offered them cash, hey, you need cash, I'm looking to have sex, let's go back up to my apartment. Or he offered them cash and drugs. He said he had drugs. Oh, you want drugs, don't you? Yeah, we like to party. Let's go party back at my apartment. I got some good drugs. Get them back to the apartment, whatever it took. One individual was smart enough, and she said no, that he kind of creeped her out because she met him outside of a Suboxone clinic, methadone Suboxone clinic. She was walking out, and he walked up to her and said, I've got drugs. Forget this stuff. Let's go back to my place. I've got good stuff. Only one victim came forward who said that she got lucky and she was thinking about it originally. She was going to do it, but then said no. And she testified against him in court as an anonymous witness. Obviously, the courts know who she is, but they never released her name in the media. Party animal. I think B, though, says Kitty Q. I think D, though. I'm torn. C. Well, it's one of them, Kitty Q. It's either A, B, C, or D. I mean, he could have very well, thought and put in the notebook, you got to call Barry Morphew once you kill him. Oh, Kitty Q is going with C. Question 20 of 20. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Purple. Purple gets it right there. Purple got it right. She answered A, B, C, and D. Question 20, the correct answer. Unfortunately, we have no evidence that he ever called Barry Morphew. Sadly, I thought for sure that was going to be the correct answer, but it's not. Likewise, there is no evidence ever that he ever made love or had sex with any of these women. So that only leaves B and C. And of those two, ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer is C, as in cat. He took a Polaroid picture of him laying down next to the corpse of all three women. He took a picture. He removed the arrows, then lay down with them with an old Polaroid camera, and took a picture of him laying on the next to the victim. And why? I don't know. Peter Sutcliffe didn't do that, but that was something that made Stephen Griffith different, in that aspect, and along with a lot of other things. They're different between him and Peter Sutcliffe. But he took a Polaroid picture of them. That is how the law enforcement there knew 100% that he is the one who killed Suzanne, because he took a picture of himself laying next to Suzanne when she was deceased. And again, my heart goes out to her mother. He refuses, even to this day, to talk about the case or what he did with Suzanne. How did you do tonight? Did you get an A, a B, a C, or a D? Or are you just a solid rock star mountain lion tamer? This is completely optional, ladies and gentlemen. You do not have to give yourself a letter grade. Some people like to, some people don't. It's optional. Now, you might be wondering, of the 20 questions on tonight's trivia, how many did I know before putting these 20 questions together? Ladies and gentlemen, I knew two of the 20 before putting this together. Frankly, I have never heard of this man until I was suggested it. And the suggestion for the Crossbow Cannibal, Stephen Griffiths, came in on 5/5 of 24. The Cannibal, Crossbow Cannibal. Now, I think Cement Shoes may have suggested it, but because I wrote Cement Shoes, like, circle, but also I also have Gypsy Rose Blanchard, so it's kind of like written in between the two of them on my notes here. But either way, I'm got a B. Weirdo freak. Yes, he was a weirdo freak. Freaking mountain lion Morphew. Purple C just had fun tonight. That's all that matters, Purple. It's all that matters. Kitty Q, my first A. Morbid, but woohoo, I got an A. Okay, I'm done. Yeah, I'd never heard of Stephen Griffith. I never heard of the Crossbow Cannibal. I never heard of the Bradford murders. It's just one of those murders. I mean, you can't know every case, right? Every serial killer out there. I mean, and the two that I knew were the one about his victims, that they were all runaways, drug addicts, and prostitutes. I knew that. I knew that one, and I knew the one of about his victim that he wouldn't talk about, Suzanne Blamires, or how you pronounce that? Gypsy Rose Blanchard. It's on the list. Each week I have a list of suggestions. So far tonight, the only thing I have is Dr. Anthony Garcia. Other ones that are new to the list is, besides Gypsy Rose Blanchard, stay safe out there. You never know who's standing next to you. You never know who's going to knock on your door. Absolutely true, Purple. And thank you, Gianna Marie. Besides Gypsy Rose Blanchard from 5/5 of 24, I got the Menendez brothers, David Berkowitz, the West Mesa Bone Collector, Charles Cullen, Luca Magnotta, and the Freeman brothers. From 5/12, we have Sandra Van Ark, Lori DeBrals, Dahlia Diplota, Kyron Horman case. And again, then this week we have Dr. Anthony Garcia. Now, there is no cold case tonight. Now, I'm going to need to talk to you all about this. All right. I was contacted by somebody who runs the Charlie Project, supposedly. I'm still trying to verify this information, if it is somebody who is from the Charlie Project. But I received an email that they do not wish for me to use their data that they have harnessed and that they use, and they want me to give them a donation. Now, again, I cannot confirm that that is the person from the actual Charlie Project, but it does appear that it's coming from an email address that is from the Charlie Project. Again, it could be somebody who spoofed the email address altogether and sent me that communication. If that is the case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, at the end of for the cold cases, I'm going to just start using cold cases that are new and prevalent in today's news. People have disappeared. People who have vanished or whatever it is in the last, say, 5 years. And I'm just going to pull them from the internet because there are a lot more other places out there that have cold cases. in archives of cold cases of missing people. Person was standing next to me. They don't trust that person. John List. I would love to do another John List. I'm gonna put him down, Linda. Thank you for the suggestion. But I'm still checking on that information to see if it's actually legit. So Monday morning, I'm going to fire an actual email to the Charlie Project and ask them, is this email associated and this person associated with you? If so, I think it's pretty much add in some explicitive words here that you try to shake me down for a donation to get the information out that you're trying to get out to the world as well. Because that's basically how I feel about it. That's horrible. The only thing that should be is the importance of keeping their story out there, right, Kitty Q? I'm 100% there. All right. And now I want to let you guys all know next week for trivia, we're having trivia night. It's all going to be the same format, but next week's trivia is a little bit different from any other trivia night that I've ever done. It's on serial killers, but instead of it being on one particular person, next week's Sunday night trivia is going to be on 4 serial killers. If you have a pen and a piece of paper, you can write this down. I'll give you a minute to write it down in case you want to know, because I'm not going to send out an email. That's why I'm telling you, for all you in the here who are on the email list for early notification of who the trivia subject is going to be, you want to write this down. Grab a crayon, a marker, whatever you need to write something down on a piece of paper. These are the 4 serial killers that the next week's trivia is going to be on. All right. It's Israel Keyes, Jeffrey Dahmer, Ted Bundy, and Ed Kemper. Every single one of the options, A, B, C, or D, is going to be one of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the crime, the victim, and then you have to know who is that victim. Is that victim one of Israel Keyes? Is that one of Ed Kemper's? Is that Ted Bundy victim? But I'm going to give you the question and the victim, or victim, whichever how it's worded, and then all 20 questions, A, B, C, and D, are all going to be the exact same for all 20 of them. Of those 4 serial killers, that is next Sunday. It's going to be hard. It all depends on what you can use the deduction too, Linda, if you know about the actual killers, those 4. But those are the 4 serial killers. That's next Sunday. Now, also next Sunday, I will not be in this actual studio space. I will be in my actual house doing trivia night. All the questions are already done, and I've already uploaded it to Restream, which is my streaming platform, which is over here where it says Restream. That is the name of the company that I use for streaming. That's the name of the company. It's not like I'm restreaming it. That's the name of the company. But I'm going to make it as easy as possible. I'm not going to give you really obscure questions that nobody's heard of, like which one of these, of these 4 serial killers, wore Adidas tennis shoes when they committed all of their murders. I'll tell you who. Ted Bundy. He wore Adidas tennis shoes when he committed all of his murders. But anyway, there's not going to be any obscure questions like that on the 20 questions, because who's going to know what shoes they wore? Me. I'm sure a couple of you probably know, somebody out there who, one killer who wore, dress shoes. or boots. But I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible. It's already going to be 9 p.m. here in Virginia, Eastern Standard Time. I don't like being on Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Time. I'm sorry, Rykart. Well, maybe your next load will take you west. I'm never wearing those ugly ass shoes. You know, when it comes to like tennis shoes and brands in general, I don't have any real affiliation with one or one brand over another. I'm not a Nike fan over Adidas or Reebok or any one brand. I wear, when it comes to tennis shoes, what is comfortable. I'm sorry, I'm not going to drop $1,800 on a pair of tennis shoes just so I can say, look, man, I'm wearing the newest kicks. Now, if Adidas or Nike or Reebok or hell, New Balance, if they want to pay me $1,800, I'll be your goddamn loyalist customer and I'll tell everybody about your shoes. The other day, a truck driver also had a Ukrainian flag on the back of his trailer. I have my flag in my truck's door. That's cool. I quote OJ on the Bruno Magli. How do you pronounce that? Magli shoes. Huh. Magli. I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah. I'm wearing something from Academy Sports. I got on sale for $20. I don't even know the brand. I mean, there are some things that when it comes to like um, work pants, work overalls, stuff like that. I mean, I'll go more with either Dickies or Carhartt, but I mean, whichever one appears the more longest lasting. I mean, everything in society that's made these days, from shoes to whatever, it's discardable. They want it to break down, so you have to replace it. Magli. Oh, is that Li? Because they last. Susie. Sui. Okay. Well, Sui, welcome. I'm about to end the tonight's trivia night. You can always watch and rewind, but thank you for stopping by. But everyone have a great and safe week ahead. And thank you for hanging out tonight and playing trivia. And again, next Sunday, I gave you the format of how it's going to be. It's going to be, I'm trying something new, and that's the only reason why I'm doing it is to try something new to see how people like it, if they like the format and how I'm presenting it. Because if you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, you can't expect that something better of an outcome. But anyways, if I was to murder, I would most likely be wearing Skechers. Da 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 da. Who cleans around the house? You or Crystal? Oh, Rykart, 100% me. 100% me. I do all of the cooking. I do all of the cleaning. Trust me. I am, well, my wife calls me an anal asshole, or either or, one of them. But I can't just let something be cleaned. Um, I'm not a germaphobe by any means, but I have a 7-year-old who loves to touch something, and put sticky fingerprints on everything. And so I'm constantly, going behind him with Lysol wipes and wiping things down and cleaning. But I like things done in a certain way, and it's something inside my brain. It's like you can do it perfectly, vacuum the entire living room perfectly, and move all the furniture, do it all. In my head, I'll see something like that, and I'm like, that wasn't done right. It's got to be done again. I don't know why I do it, but I do. Clean freak, yeah, I am. I like everything neat and orderly, and I always put everything back and where they came from, where they belong. Not my family. And Crystal can't cook. Sorry, she can't. She's tried a little here and there over the course of our marriage, but she's not one to cook. My daughter, damn, she can cook and she can bake like there's no tomorrow. She is so good at it. But and my son, he's 7 years old. He can make some pretty mean scrambled eggs with help from dad. I have to get the eggs out of the refrigerator; they're too high on the shelf for him. And I help him crack the eggs, and he'll scramble them in a pan on the stove with me there, because otherwise, he doesn't use the stove. But he's learned. But anyways, everyone, have a good one. You all have a great week ahead. Bye.